You start a project and everything is going smoothly until the client starts asking for one more thing, and one more thing, and you end up doing double the work only to be paid the same fee. Sounds familiar? Well, this is what we call scope creep, and in today's video, I not only want to show you how to stop it, but also how to enforce boundaries and how to make sure that you will get paid for every little revision without feeling awkward or fearing that you're going to lose the client. But first, let's get into what is scope creep and why does it happen. It could be a lack of clarity in your contract. So if you're not clear about how many revisions are included or what a revision is compared to a full redesign. There's also the quick favor trap that can really add up over time. You might also fear that you're going to lose the client if you don't make that extra revision. The thing is, if you make that extra revision, they're probably going to ask you for a few more things along the way. The key takeaway from this is that scope creep isn't a problem that comes from the client, it's a lack of communication, and it's a problem that you can easily solve when both parties know what the responsibilities and expectations are, what is included and what is not included. It's going to be much easier because everybody's going to know what the boundaries are. The client is going to be clear about what they can ask for or not. When a contract is not that clear, the client is always going to assume that what they're asking for is included in what they're paying for already. So from now on, I want you to be a little bit more careful when you sign a design agreement, a fee proposal, a contract. You have to, one, have clear deliverables and timeline. For example, this package includes 2 concept boards, 1 mood board, and final selections. Number 2, the number of revisions. 2 rounds of revision, how much do you charge per additional revision? For example, $150 per hour. Site visits and meetings, how many site visits are included? How much will you charge extra if the clients need you to be on site more? Then number 4, what is not included? For example, furniture ordering and procurements are not included in the design fee. Number 5, any extra work clause. So any request outside the scope of work will be charged hourly. If you do not have a contract in place yet, I have a code that gives you 20% off a professional interior design bundle. It's all the agreements that you need as an interior designer to start your business. These contracts were done by a professional lawyer in the United States. I also have one for the UK, so if you're in the UK, I will drop the code also down below. But it's important that you set up contracts that stand in court just in case. So investing in a professional made contract is essential, whether you're starting out or if you've been in business. I hope you have one. So now I want to teach you how you can answer a request for what you consider to be extra without feeling awkward about it. So you have to remember that clients don't always realize that what they're asking for is extra. So here's how you can professionally respond when a client asks you for something that you consider to be extra. Scenario 1, the client asks you, can you tweak this design one more time? This is how you're going to respond. I'd love to make additional adjustments, but we've already used the 2 revisions included in the scope of work. So I can either finalize the current design or continue working on it for an additional $150 per hour. Scenario 2, the client asks, can we add furniture sourcing for this project? And what you can answer is, that's a great idea. I can prepare a separate quote for that service so we can add it to the project. Because the thing is, this is a completely separate service. So it might not make sense to do it hourly and to tell them that you can do that, you can carry on hourly. This makes more sense for a revision. But for this type of thing where they ask you for 1 additional service, it makes more sense to go back, estimate, and send them another proposal. Scenario 3, I love this one. Can you quickly stop by my house tomorrow? And you can just say, I would absolutely love to. Additional site visits are $250 per hour, and I happen to have availability this week. What do you think about this day? So don't make it weird. They will understand that, yeah, we've reached the site visit or we didn't even have any included, and this is what the cost is going to be if I want her to come to my house. They have to understand that there are boundaries and that the time to get to their home, spend time with them, and then go back home, it's time that you won't be able to spend on another project. So you can just still not make it awkward and say, yeah, I would love to come. Site visits are this much and I can come this week. Going back to scenario 2, where the client wanted an additional service, as I said, it makes more sense to say that you're going to prepare another proposal to send it to them, like an agreement with the new scope of work, because it doesn't make sense to do that hourly if it's a full service rather than a revision or a site meeting. And you can use something like Dubsado to create a change order, to create a proposal. You can use any other software that you have been using right now, but it's important that you create a new proposal that you have them review before you start doing any type of work, and you will want them to sign that one as well to protect you and make sure that everything is included as to what the new scope of work involves. The key takeaway from this entire video is that you can avoid scope creep and make sure that your project runs smoothly from beginning to end. And what you need to work on is communication. So from the get-go, ensure that your clients know what is included in a package, how many revisions, how many site visits, and if they want additional work, it's fine for them to request it, but they should expect to either receive a new proposal, for example, for a new service, or they can expect to pay X for your hourly rate for a new revision, for example. So that could be only 3 additional hours, for example. But make sure that every step of the way, they're clear about what is included, how much they can expect to pay extra for an additional service, and ensure that everything is approved before you move on to doing more work for them. This video was short. I hope it helped you understand how you can stop scope creep, how you can set boundaries with clients without feeling awkward or like you're going to lose the client, and also how you can get paid for every additional revision or service that they ask for.